What's up YouTube? For this video, I want to talk about these specific Nike sneakers in my collection that I consider unique. When I say unique, what I mean is that each one of these sneakers has something very special to offer, whether it's relating to design, aesthetics, materials, or functionality. Each one of these shoes has something different to offer beyond your typical and basic sneaker. Again, as you can see by these boxes, they are all Nike sneakers, and I feel like Nike has really been on top of it when it comes to innovation and incorporating special technology behind their designs. So with that being said, I just wanted to showcase this list. Some of them have some hype behind them, but some of them don't. And that's what I like about sneaker collecting in general, is that you don't have to always buy the most popular and most hyped things. So hopefully this list will be interesting for you. With that being said, let's get into it. So here's the first shoe on the list. These are the Nikelab Pocketknife DMs. The reason I included these on the list is because I do think the aesthetic and the design of the shoe is quite unique. It definitely gives me ninja-like vibes with a sock-like upper. And from an aesthetic or silhouette standpoint, I really like the shape of the shoe, and I like the colorway that they used on here. I love the subtle lime green hits. It just adds that nice pop of color without doing too much. In terms of the design, I like the lacing system that they used. These lime green lace holes incorporated with the rope laces and the lace lock right here just gives this shoe an overall techie aesthetic in addition to the sock-like upper. And then you also have this little pull tab thing on the back here. I don't think this really serves a functional purpose, but it just ties everything together to give it a bit of a combination between a minimal sock-like upper with that techie feature. And on top of that, I really like these shoes because they actually are really comfortable on feet as well. I like sock-like sneakers in general. They just feel really cozy and they're just easy to put on and off. So from a comfort standpoint, I really dig them. And again, having them on feet just kind of looks like ninja shoes, so I really like that as well. So that's why these are on the list. Alright, next shoe I want to talk about are these right here. These are the Nike ACG Mach 3.0s. I decided to put these on the list because they just look kind of funny. It's pretty much a moccasin type of shoe with a slip-on upper. The upper is made of this like quilted nylon material, but it sits on top of this pretty thick rugged midsole. I feel like this shoe has an identity crisis because it kind of looks like a house slipper mixed with a bit of a rugged outdoor outsole, mixed with a bit of a sneaker aesthetic. Again, I feel like this shoe is just kind of all over the place. In terms of the materials, I don't really see a lot of shoes using this quilted upper, so that's kind of unique in itself. But otherwise, from a comfort standpoint, I'll admit that these aren't really that comfortable. I'll admit that this was an impulse buy for me because just based on pictures, they did look unique and I did want to give them a try, but I don't think I'm really going to be getting much wear out of these. I know that Nike just released a Mach 3.5 version of this shoe, but just given the fact that the 3.0s didn't really do it for me, I don't think I care for the 3.5s, unfortunately. But yeah, just thought I'd share this one on the list. The next shoe I want to talk about are these Nike React Element 87s. The reason these shoes made it on the unique list is because they utilize the transparent upper, which really isn't used on a lot of sneakers these days. I remember maybe 1 or 2 decades ago when they really first released the first ever transparent Air Force One. That was bringing a lot of hype into the sneaker community at that time. I feel like they were ahead of the time at that time because transparent shoes were really silly back then, or the idea of it was a little obscure. Fast forward to this past few years, the Nike Element 87s all include some transparent upper, which I think is a unique design because it really does allow you to customize the look a little more based on the socks you wear. If you're really adventurous, you can go no socks and show off your feet, but either way, I just think it's a really cool idea and design, and I feel like it's a lot more acceptable in the high-end luxury space. All in all, I really do like this shoe. It's pretty comfortable too given the React midsole. The upper's pretty comfortable as well, and the design I think is special. Alright, the next shoe I want to feature are these right here. These are the Nike LD Waffles, which are a collaboration between Nike, Sacai, and Undercover. I just had to include these on the list because I do think that the design is one of the more unique ones I've ever seen. Anytime Nike and Sacai have collaborated just recently, I just feel like they really knocked it out of the park and really revolutionized the collaboration game. Sacai's rendition or take on the design, utilizing these double layered aesthetics, not only looks really futuristic, but it also looks really sleek and stylish in my opinion. I believe this shoe is a mesh between 2 Nike models, the Nike LDV and the Waffle Racer. And I think again, just combining the best of both worlds, you get this masterpiece right here. And just personally for me, I love everything about this sneaker, from the colorway that they used, to the design, to the comfort, which they are quite comfortable on feet. They really knocked it out of the park with these. So this next shoe, I definitely also had to include in the list. These are the Nike and Acronym Prestos. When Nike and Acronym started pulling these out in a couple of different colorways, I remember the first time they came out, they really blew up the sneaker community. The aesthetic was never really seen before, and specifically with the Acronym collabs, they utilize components in the design that gives it really tech wear vibes. From the zip up ankle collar to the bungee cords and the zippers and the buttons that they use along the back of the shoe. This shoe just has this utilitarian type of component that really no other shoe has ever used before, I don't think. I think this shoe was a little bit ahead of its time at the time when it first came out. It was really unique and cool in the beginning, and then the hype of it definitely died down because it was, again, a little too trendy at the time. But I do feel like there is a future in tech wear sneakers, so that's why I had to include these on the list. So speaking of tech wear and technology, I had to include these shoes on the list. These are the Nike Adapt Huaraches. These shoes actually have technology built in them, and they do have a self-lacing system. There's an actual battery inside the shoe which helps you self-lace the shoes without using your hands, and I think this is one of the very few sneakers that incorporate this type of technology, if any other ones at all. Nike again is just ahead of it when it comes to incorporating unique designs and technology into their sneakers. I really like the appearance of this sneaker as well. It's definitely a technologic, futuristic appearance given the sharp angles that they use in the toe box, the tongue, and the translucent blue pieces that they use in the upper right here. With Nike incorporating the whole Adapt technology and the self-lacing system, I think it's a really cool idea. It is a cool concept, but I will say that it's not the most efficient, at least not yet. I wouldn't say that it's groundbreaking quite yet, but it's just very special, and this is the first of its kind. So maybe in the near future they'll mainstream it even better to be more efficient, quick. But for now, I'll appreciate these being the first ever self-lacing shoe that I've ever owned. So I guess you can argue that each sneaker is unique in its own way, but this is my unique list because these are shoes that I feel like, one, not a lot of people have, two, the design is not something that's commonly used in other sneakers, and three, they have some sort of component that revolutionized the sneaker game. These types of sneakers for me is what makes sneaker collecting fun. Of course, I love my share of like Jordans, Yeezys, and other hype sneakers too, but sometimes those can get a little boring in a way because they just look like everything else. So these sneakers having some special design or functional or technologic component to them, for me is just what makes collecting fun and what makes fashion and wearing them fun as well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you guys agree with my list, and do you guys think that my shoes here are unique? If you have any unique sneakers, which ones do you feel like are the most special in your collection? Or what do you define as a unique sneaker? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. If you made it this far into the video, please do me a huge favor, hit that like button, it'll help me out a lot, and consider subscribing for more content on style, sneakers, and science. While you're at it, be sure to check out my other videos here or here. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.